Greetings, Auto Subs, VideoJames, and today we're going to be doing a breakdown of basically almost all of the trailers that we've gotten for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now, I did a trailer reaction to the Meet Team Rainbow Rocket video, the Meet Team Bow Rainbow Rocket trailer, as well as a breakdown of it, but when I went to upload that video, it immediately got blocked in all countries by the Japanese version of the Pokemon channel. So, I'm not really going to be showing any clips of the video. I'm really only going to be showing images because I don't want this video to get blocked. But if they do get blocked for images, then there's not really anything I can do. Because they can claim it for, like, visual stuff. They can claim it for audio stuff. They can basically claim stuff for anything. So, I don't know. But I'm just going to be showing specific points that basically are related to what I think might happen. The biggest things that I think is going to happen is involving all of the teams, because as we saw that Team Rainbow Rocket is a thing now. So it's not just Team Rocket anymore. It's not just regular old Team Rocket, Giovanni, Jesse James, Meowth, and all that. Now, it's Team Rainbow Rocket. So they changed their name, they changed their icon, they changed everything. And something that hit me is that back in a while ago, if you guys remember, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, there was that little Easter egg with Giovanni underneath the waterfall, where if you had Celebi, you could go underneath that waterfall, and there'd be a little radio or a cave sitting there, and the radio would play, and Giovanni would just sound, it would play a little recording of Giovanni, and it would be like him saying how he was able to move back through space and time, I forget which one. But what I think might have happened is that he might not have seen Celebi at all. That Giovanni might have actually seen a different Pokemon and been brought back to his world to kind of leave a record of what happened. So, if you remember back in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the recording said that Giovanni had been able to go to another time and another world through the power of Celebi. But as we've seen in Sun and Moon, the Ultra Beasts have the ability to create sort of dimensional portals that will go through dimensions and go to areas that we've never really seen before. Like, Buzzwole will have that volcano. Pheromosa will see that giant, tree, maybe. But my theory is that Necrozma might have actually had something to do with Giovanni's disappearance. So, if you guys don't remember, Necrozma is supposedly going to kidnap Solgaleo or Lunala and try and steal the light from Alola. And he is another key reason why I think of this theory. So, maybe Giovanni actually met Necrozma back in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and he was brought to Ultra Megalopolis, the new place, by Necrozma in a world where he'd already stolen the light and stolen the power of the Alolan legendaries, and he'd made the world over in his image. So maybe Giovanni decides to live in that world and decides to go back and leave that recording for whatever followers of his team as a sort of goose chase so that they never try and find him and he can live out his life in this new place. And there's another reason that this is a very compelling theory for me. So, another reason that I think this Giovanni theory might not be too far off is that a lot of the team leaders have been changed. So we see that Archie no longer has his Megastone pendant. Maxie no longer has his glasses with the little Megastone. Not only that, but Lysander now doesn't have his Mega Pin. So, another big theory of mine is that this world where Necrozma took Giovanni, supposedly, and this world where he took all the light, might also be a place where all the team leaders are actually still leading their teams. So, like, I don't really know how to explain this now, because I already explained it, but maybe Ultra Megalopolis is the name of the new world created by all of the villain leaders in the world Necrozma made. So maybe after all the villains' defeat, Necrozma saw them and saw that they felt rejected and felt defeated, and he was like, hey, I can offer you a better world, a world where you can have power, and you can have your team back. And you have to leave all your worldly things behind here. And maybe that's what the Necrozma actually did. Maybe he actually brought them with him into this new world, and he turned them into a new team, and actually made it to where now all of the team leaders are coming back into this giant city and just beginning to rule everything. Because when you think about it, evil and good are often compared to dark and light. And the legendaries of Alola have been depicted as the protectors, while Necrozma is being depicted as the thief. So, it might not be too far off to suggest that Necrozma could be evil, and could actually want to make a world in which there is no good, in which only the evil remains. And that might be another reason that he's seeking out these team leaders, so that he can find the people who agree with his ideals and will actually want to help him through all of his adventures. Because if you see, we didn't see N in here anywhere. N wasn't in here. The Team Aqua and Magma people that helped us out, they weren't in here either. So, maybe, since they actually tried to help us out a small bit, then maybe they aren't actually going to be villains. Maybe they're actually not even going to be in this world, and it's just going to be these big team bosses leading a bunch of grunts. And I think that could be a really cool idea, because Sun and Moon was kind of meant to be like the 20-year crossing generation sort of thing. So maybe they're doing this and they're bringing this idea in, but that would be a really cool kind of concept if that's what it is, because maybe we have to chase Necrozma there, so we'll have no choice but to kind of eradicate the evil of that world as well. Now, another cool thing about the new trailer is the battle agency. So, the battle agency seems to be basically like the Pokemon Showdown, if any of you have ever seen it. It seems to be like the Pokemon Showdown random battle thing. So, if you don't know what that is, basically in Pokemon Showdown, there's a tier called Random Battles, where you can basically click it, and you'll get 6 random Pokemon, all at a random level, and you'll fight another opponent who's using random Pokemon, and you'll basically just have no clue what you're using until you see it. And, honestly, in my opinion, this could be a cool idea, because this actually is different from the battle agency, in the sense that you actually get to get one of your partner's Pokemon, or you get to get someone's Pokemon. So it's like, you can actually try and coordinate this with someone, and try and get their Pokemon, and use it in battle with them or against them. But, don't quote me on that, because I have no clue how true that is. We'll just have to wait till November 13th or 17th and see how true that really is. But, it does seem like this will be a cool idea. It seems like that since they were kind of trying to advance this battle styles anyway, that they are actually trying to bring in new stuff, and they're trying to bring in kind of stuff that's been created from other official places of Pokemon. So, this seems like they're trying to be all-inclusive. Now, there is one part of the trailer I don't like, and that is the Totem Stickers. So, if you don't know, there are things called Totem Stickers that you can find around Alola now, and supposedly if you get them, it'll make your Pokemon totem-sized. Now, this might just be crazy. It might just be me not liking this. But I really don't like the idea of this. In fact, I didn't honestly like the idea of totem Pokemon either. I didn't like that idea of a Pokemon that was bigger than the entire rest of its species, and just completely kind of mutated to where it can have an extra power, because it doesn't seem like that's natural. It felt like there had to be something creating those Pokemon, and that something was up there. And this kind of totem sticker thing doesn't really explain much. Because the way this totem sticker thing is supposed to work is if you collect enough of them off of the island, then you'll actually be able to get a Pokemon at full totem size, and if you collect just a few of them, then it'll be just a tiny bit bigger leading up to the totem size. And I honestly don't believe that, because if it's just a sticker, then it's not really going to have any effect. Honestly, if it would have been like some shrine token or some little statue or something that gave you the totem Pokemon, then I probably would have felt it to be more believable. That something with like a statue seems more believable than a sticker when it comes to genetic modification. But it just is my nitpicking. And another thing that I don't like about the system is it might only work for certain Pokemon. So we saw in the trailer that we only get Lurantis, as an example. We only get Gumshoes. And those are both totem-sized Pokemon. Yeah, Salazzle is also another one. And Salazzle was the totem Pokemon for Kiawe's trial. So maybe the totems will only affect the totem Pokemon that you've seen in Alola. And maybe that might change, so we might really have no clue what will happen. But we do know at least that Salazzle, Lurantis, and Gumshoes will be affected by this new kind of mechanic. And again, I don't really like it, but it's kind of just what we have. And then another thing that they added with the trailer is a upgraded version of the Island Scanner. So, if you don't remember, the Island Scanner in Pokemon Sun and Moon was basically a mechanic where you could scan the islands once daily, and depending on what island you were on, a different Pokemon would show up, and you would be able to find that Pokemon for about an hour, or until you found it, and then after that, it wouldn't be available. And you would have to get like 100 points in order to actually do it, and I think the points just automatically recharge. But you could get Pokemon like, Chikorita, Totodile, Cyndaquil, Emboar, Serperior, and Samurott, I think, are some that you could get. But now, you can actually get Pokemon like, you can't really see them because there's just the shadows, but you can get Pokemon like Grovyle, Charmander, and Greninja. And maybe the Greninjas will actually have a chance at being Battle Bond, but that's a big maybe. And then another reason that I came up with the different dimension team theory was the amount of legendaries that we see and the specific legendaries that we see. So if any of you have actually watched the trailer, you'll notice that we got Mewtwo, Kyogre, Groudon, Reshiram, Zekrom, Rayquaza, and some of the other Pokemon, Palkia, Dialga, but basically Pokemon that all the teams were after were included in this trailer. Like the Reggies, the teams went after them. The Lake Guardians, Team Galactic went after them. The Legendary Dogs, I believe Team Rocket tried to get after them as well. So maybe this will have something to do with the teams, that with all of the legendary Pokemon that we are seeing showing up now, then we'll actually have some sort of kind of connection between the two. That maybe all the team bosses will have collected these legends in the new region that they're brought to, the Ultra Megalopolis, and they'll have succeeded, and then after we beat the bosses, they'll be freed out in the wild, and then we can go collect them. Which, honestly, would be cool. Again, it would be a cool idea if they implemented that. And then another thing, I know it wasn't really in this trailer, but it was in the other trailer, is the Rotom thing. Now, the Rotom thing, if you don't know, or if you haven't seen it, is basically a lottery thing where you get to spin Rotom's dial once, and I don't know how long this will last for, but if it's anything like Pokepelago, it might last a full day. But you get to spin Rotom's little dial that he's got in the middle of his screen now, and you'll get an effect. And what I think that is from the stuff that I've seen, it's a random lottery thing. So you spin the dial, and you get a random effect for a set amount of time. So it'll be like you can spin the dial and you'll get hatching, and then you'll be able to hatch faster, and then that'll be the optimal time for you to do that. Which I honestly don't really know if that's completely true, but from what I've seen, it does seem like it will end up being like a little lottery wheel thing. Again, I'm not sure, but it is basically what I've seen will probably be that happening. But that's going to be it for this video. Out of all the stuff from the trailer, I honestly think that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will honestly be a little bit better than Sun and Moon. Actually, I think it'll be a lot better because Sun and Moon honestly felt so empty. I'm sorry, but Sun and Moon honestly felt like an incomplete project. It felt like there was so much missing that could have been there. It felt like that with what we've seen Pokemon do in the past, they could have had a lot more in that time frame, and they could have just had a whole bunch more done. So hopefully Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon deliver with the amount of material they're expected to bring. Go away, low battery. But hopefully they deliver with the stuff that they're expected to bring. Hopefully The mechanics aren't too bad. They are expected to actually have upped the EXP gain. So hopefully the EXP gain will be upped a small bit. And they will be bringing back move tutors as well. Move tutors are actually a thing that will be brought back. But anyway, I'm leaving this video here. I'll leave a link to about 3 of the trailers that I can find, if I can find them. I know where 2 of them are. I'll have to go digging for the Rotom wheel thing. But if you guys like this video, you can slap the like button as always, and I will see all you beautiful people in the next video.